punch a thing, blow up another thing, and we're good.
Yeah. All of this intrigue trying to set powerful people against each other. There's a hut here. I don't think there's any huts on the spider planet.
We didn't stick around long enough to find out.
That's the determining factor whether something is a good place or not.
Whether or not there's huts.
Yeah.
No Imperials, no huts, sign me up.
There were Imperials.
Former Imperials.
One of them's still technically an Imperial. Probably.
According to the Imperials.
It was definitely simpler, but it didn't pay nearly as much as this will either.
Yeah.
At any rate, it's best if I go off alone anyway, so that you three, with your array of talents and skills, can actually achieve our objectives.
Right, makes sense.
Okay.
Jay turns to everyone else and says, "So, what's on the agenda? Poison someone, blow up a sky car, less illegal things."
Reminds me of HK-47.
He's just spitballing here.
Well, we've got a race today, don't we? Or is that tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
In approximately
Bright and
24
early.
hours.
So
We will have an entire night before the race to also do sabotages.
sabotage, maybe fixing up. Gotta get a bank account later. Is there anything else?
Well,
Do
we're
we
pretty
want to
much
scout
broke
more
and
security?
in debt at this point, so I'm not going to be able to do much other than take the armor off of the ship if you need me to.
That's probably a good thing to start with. I would like to find someone to frame, but that can probably wait until after we're done preparing for the race. After all, the heist isn't going to take place until somewhat after the race concludes. It's
Well,
more
should we?
urgent.
How would we go about doing that?
I'm not sure. Ideally, we would find someone that we dislike, set up an account in their name, but with poor gestures of hiding that fact, and then funnel the money through that account. Not necessarily one they already owned, but one that points back to them. Ideally.
Have you guys figured out how you're actually going to perform the heist yet?
Nope, that's the other thing I was mentioning is scouting of security.
Well, the problem with that is that we need to know what the security looks like.
Well, how are you going to
Nice.
get in? Isn't that an idea?
We still need to know what it looks like inside at night.
How are you going to do that?
I don't know. Can we get a
We have to
can
get
we
in
get
at night.
control?
We've already
Go ahead.
gotten a hold of schematics. We just haven't looked at them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm hoping we might be able to get some control of the cameras at nighttime.
We
The feed.
we would probably have to do that from inside.
We
Mm-hmm.
might.
Which means the cameras and the guards would be...
Yeah.
So what you doing besides sending Lissa to strip armor off something?
Gotta get that armor.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, we've been racking our brains to get this far. Hmm.
Well, while you guys are racking your brains, Rakcharr can go off and try to sell his knick-knack and paddywhacks.
Yeah.
At the knick-knack paddywhack emporium.
I guess I'm looking for anyone who might be interested in exotic esoterica. You know, whether it be like weapons or just for like objects to art, something that they haven't seen before. A blend of not just of Imperial technology, but a hybrid of an alien species heretofore undiscovered and uncharted.
Well,
and, you know.
Okay. I get it. I think that it'd be a streetwise, so for you, cunning.
All right.
Cunning check of difficulty 2, but you actually have such that all of your HoloNet searches the other day. You're getting a +3 on this for boost die, 3 boost dice.
Okay.
Because just so many people.
I'm so informed.
All of the information.
In advantages, yeah.
You have advantages. You know of. You don't know. You know of. You're pointed to a person who might not be a person to sell things to, but she's a pretty good person for xenology.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. And as it happens, she's in town right now.
Huh? How about that?
Here's a question.
Go ahead.
Did Jay tell us what species other than Corellian, what the guards were?
Sure.
You might want to ask about the defo.
Well, you know, if this person who would be informed and have some knowledge just so happens to be in town, and I could just so happen to figure out her location, then Rakcharr would certainly be interested in discussing this esoterica and quirky items with her if he could somehow find her location and then figure out from there how to get to her.
Give me a second. There is a section on where she could be located. I just need to... okay. Alright. Although you're not given a location for her, you're given a location for a friend of hers.
Okay.
You're given a name of Laana, and she's likes to spend her time at Yareth Bespin's Pair O' Dice Casino at the sabacc tables. Or the bar.
Bottom of the casino, sabacc table. Oh boy, sabacc. Those Gans. They introduced me to that back on that station there. Those are pretty good guys. Even broke even. They probably were scared of me a little bit, though. It's probably how I broke even. Okay. Well, I suppose Rakcharr will grumble to himself and then make his way to the casino in search of this Laana!
Well, Laana kind of stands out. She is a Togruta.
Okay.
She stands out.
So that's Laana's species,
yes.
Right? Okay.
Yeah. She stands out because not very many Togruta. They're not uncommon, but you're still not likely to see that many of them. And she's at the sabacc tables grumbling to herself as she's losing quite badly.
Alright, so she's in a poor mood. Rakcharr racks his brain like, maybe I can like attempt to like cozy up to her and play sabacc. Rakcharr shakes his head, that's a stupid idea. Maybe I can buy her a drink and attract her attention? No, then she'll think that's some kind of dating ritual. I don't know what Togrutas do. After carefully consulting his mind, Rakcharr realizes that as a Wookiee, he is entirely excused for attempting a direct approach. What Rakcharr will probably end up doing is walking up to Laana in sort of like bluntly and rather crassly, because that's who he is, mention... You know, I think I have a better way to take your mind off of... No, let's try that again. Retcon. But that was so dumb. Rakcharr like gonna be like pauses and then like rewinds like 5 seconds. and says, you know, sabacc's pretty interesting, but I hear that previously undiscovered races using technology the Imperials haven't developed yet. That can be pretty fun too.
Laana doesn't even look up from the sabacc table. Looking at her hand, sabacc says, you sound like a friend. You sound like you want to talk to a friend of mine, Shreya."
Rakcharr says, Yeah, it's certainly more interesting than playing Sabacc. Like, Rakcharr has nothing for this social situation. I mean, like, yeah. In the back of his mind, like, I want to punch a spider right now.
I'd really go for that.
Laana will go like, I'm not winning anything right now. Then she'll turn around, look at you, and get a surprised look in your face like, oh. Tell you what, big guy, buy me a drink first, and then I'll take you to meet Shreya.
Rakcharr will be like, sure, anything specific you're looking for, I wouldn't want to make it too soft of a drink.
Something hard, because I don't want to remember how much money I just lost.
Alright. Rakcharr has a few credits, and he can appreciate something hard.
Mm-hmm.
He will buy one of these overpriced casino drinks and give it to Laana.
She'll pretty much gulp it down in one drink.
Fantastic.
And then she'll begin leading you to Shreya's place. Shreya is a bit of a walk, and she regales you about her stories about how Shreya's here on business, and then she wanted Laana to come and meet her, general girl stuff.
Alright. Rakcharr makes a note in his mind like, ask Laana about social approaches with Togruta. Don't think this one came across very well.
Dear diary, met a second Togruta today. It went badly.
Well, I mean, he's getting what he wants, so it's not exactly bad. It's just... Rakcharr feels the awkwardness of the situation.
Eventually, after maybe like a 15-minute walk and a ride up a few turbo lifts, you were greeted at a pretty decently well-to-do, if modestly appropriated hotel room. And out comes Shreya Ordasa, and you instantly recognize her as one of the bidders in the gala for the gem.
Rakcharr will file that away in his brain. He thinks that it might be more polite if, like, Laana says something first. He'll go with that and just, like, stand there a bit stiffly.
Laana will introduce you. She really didn't get your name. This
Rakcharr.
Him. He has some alien stuff, and I know you're always into that kind of junk, so I thought maybe you two could, I don't know, talk. Okay, bye.
Rakcharr offers a smile and says, I wasn't that into Sabacc, so she wasn't very interested in talking to me.
Shreya has a cold smile on her face and says she's not very good at Sabacc, so it's good that you got her away from it. Now, what can I do you for?
Rakcharr will begin with saying, I'm not much for wasting time, so I will just show you what I have found first, and he'll actually pull out of his backpack the SMG analog, not just a light machine gun, but the two SMG analogs, which I have in my notes an alien hybrid between a slug thrower and laser blaster, and set them down on a desk or table that might be between the two of them.
She just looks at it and she says, I'm not much of an arms dealer.
Rakcharr says, yes, these weapons were located on a uncharted world outside of the galactic core, along with a race of... And then, I have all of the video and audio, basically, that I compiled for the Moth as well. I can show her visual and auditory examples of what this race looked and sounded like, and Rakcharr doesn't feel any particular compulsion lineage to the Moth. I can even show them commanding around those Imperial stormtroopers.
The videos of their wholesale slaughter.
Yes. Well, not so much that, but the scripture and the text, how it was some sort of ancient form that seemed like Hades or Gamorrean or exactly what. Rakcharr is not exactly a diplomatic type. He's in niceties. He doesn't want to waste his time. He doesn't want to waste her time. He just wants to get right into it. She sounds like a scholarly type. She might be most impressed by seeing something she's never seen before.
She definitely looks impressed, but she gives you the thing is Why exactly are you trying to show me these things?
Rakcharr says, I was actually interested in seeing from someone who knows far about these things as I do, whether you, in your vast experience and knowledge, would have known anything about, like, this race, or seen the alien hybrid weapon tech that they use. I was mostly trying to ascertain value, but partly also interested in the lore of them.
She gives you a looking over the stuff again, the text and stuff like that. She makes a comment of how it seems similar to Barabel, but very still a lot of differences. She has no clue about the weapons. They're not her forte. They definitely look impressive and possibly could be of interest to research in some places. She's mostly interested in the visual and audio input that you have, the data pads of the translation, and all those things like that.
I definitely did get quite a lot of views of them and their various interactions, and I can even detail, because Rakcharr, again, does not give a single fuck about the situation, how they apparently appeared to, whatever this race was, to corrupt Imperial stormtroopers, like they could somehow, and this is like him trying to somehow explain a situation to a xenology expert, but like, be able to command and order them around perfectly, maybe like they were somehow in their minds, like psychically or something.
Without, she gives you a shrug and says, without actual corpses to dissect or, you know, basically without actual body to look over. It's a little bit hard. It's all guesses at this point. The only thing that would basically make this worthwhile to me, aside from, you know, these knickknacks that would be interesting to show to people, would be the location of the planet itself.
In that case, Rakcharr will actually offer, he would be willing to sell the coordinates of this world to her, and perhaps put his name in the future, because he's gone off-worlding before, and he's pretty good at survival, for, like, possible future consideration for, he's not much for an archaeological digger, but since worlds like these are pretty hostile, to, like, keep his name in mind with, like, contact information in case, like, she has, like, a job that might go off-worlding, outside of the galactic core into, like, an uncharted place, because, you can bring stuff back.
Well, then your question is, how much do you want for it? Because she's kind of saving her money for right now. It's not really even her. No. She's asking you how much money you want for all this.
Rakcharr will actually be blunt and say that the reason why he's been asking around, and part of why he came to Cloud City, was he's genuinely not sure what it is worth. Rakcharr will be blunt. I'm not much of a negotiator. I'm just looking to try. I'm more of a action person than talking. So I'm actually willing to take a leap here. What does a person such as yourself think that a location of this, along with these knickknacks to try to break apart or show to your peers, is worth?
She gives you one of those look that she's thinking. The location of the planet itself, with an alien race, with ruins now, I'm assuming, of this kind of, with ruins with this writing on it, would be invaluable to the scientific community, the xenology community alone. But she doesn't know how much it would be worth to a university itself.
In that case, what we could say is that by purchasing this, you would be purchasing the exclusive right to claim this as your find. I don't have any particular interest in claiming that I or my group discovered this themselves.
She gives it a thought, and she's like, while I would love to purchase this at a fair price, which I would suggest would be anywhere in the market from 3,000 to 5,000 credits right now, I don't really know if I feel comfortable spending that kind of money at the moment.
Rakcharr say, well, How about we make it a 3,000, and you also keep my name and contact information in mind in case you find a similar situation of it going to an uncharted world where my services could be of use in bringing something back.
All right. Well, I was hoping to use some of that money for something else, but something I guess something is better than nothing. She says. And she goes over to a data pad and says, well, not data pad. She starts counting out 1,000 credit sticks, 3 of them.
All right.
And that's everything. I'm assuming that's including all the guns.
Yeah.
All right.
And
She makes
copies of like the visual audio stuff.
She makes a comment about having to get these through customs.
Rakcharr will actually say, I actually had a concern about that myself. The customs official didn't even bother to check me for weapons whenever I walked here.
She makes a comment about how Lando's not really doing his job.
Really?
Well, he says Baron Calrissian.
Really, it seems like the entire city is distracted, what with this Grand Prix and then some, like a museum gala event. I went to the museum.
I'll be going to the museum, I'll be going to the gala myself, and I'll be having a private party for watching the race, during the race. It should all be good fun.
Rakcharr thinks of commenting about how, like, he has friends entering. Like, no, that's not cool. That's dumb.
That's just lame.
Like, if I was entering, that'd be cool. But, like, no, I have friends. Well, she's a very busy person, and Rakcharr has a name, and he doesn't feel comfortable attempting to make talk with someone who has clearly different interests from him.
Yes.
He's willing to take the money, offer, like, a polite farewell, and then, his face has been known because he obviously didn't talk with the damn helmet on.
Mm-hmm.
And willing to depart and leave her to her very, serious business.
Mm-hmm.
So that the rest of the group as players can do things.
And
And I will contact them after I leave, saying that I actually met with, I just met with Shreya Ordasa. Turns out she seemed the most qualified to inspect what I brought back. Actually, I'm able to contribute partly either towards upgrading the car, or partly towards paying off that debt. 3,000 credits.
I like the part where you sold exclusive rights to her when a moth already has the destination as well.
She wasn't suspicious and she didn't inquisitively study him. He's willing to go with it.
Yep. Anyways, Grimith, after that, I'm going to need you to make a perception check, please.
Sure, I can do that.
Mm-hmm. Difficulty 3 purple, please.
I'll be right back.
Alright, everything's fine.
The legacy. I was thinking about using a destiny point there, but no, we're monopolizing those for... Actually, no, it is towards the end of the session. Oh, well.
We did it.
Should have used one. Well.
Anyways, Grimith, we're still talking with you for a while now.
Oh, boy.
Anyways, as you enter into a turbo lift, another person enters alone into a turbo lift. Someone else enters the turbo lift alone with you. He looks a scrawny-looking Rhodian, sort of just wanders on in, eyes you up, doesn't say anything, goes back to his business, staring forward.
Yeah. Rakcharr will offer, like, a pleasant, like, hello through, like, the vocabulator in, like, the helmet and just stand there.
After the thing goes down roughly 10 levels, the Rhodian will lean out and press the elevator stop button.
Rakcharr will inquisitively look to the Rhodian.
The Rhodian will just turn to him and then start speaking in, I'm not going to do a Rhodian voice, but just think Greedo's talking here.
Okay.
He says you're a hard one to find, Rakcharr.
Rakcharr says, I didn't realize anyone was attempting to find me. This is a complete total fucking lie. He's not even trying to deceive here.
Mm-hmm. Well, Togruta, Rakcharr. No. He says, well, he basically says you're a hard one to find, Rakcharr. You do know the Khajiit has a bounty on your head, right?
Rakcharr says, so I've heard.
Mm-hmm. It's a pretty big one.
Rakcharr, looks to all around him in the elevator and then back to the Rodian and says, that's awfully brave for you to declare when it's just you and I here in this elevator.
But here's the thing, I'm not going to attack you. I just wanted to warn you.
Rakcharr, leans back a little and says, and why would you have any interest in warning me?
Let's just say I could make a profit on you not being captured just yet.
All right. Now, what incentive do I have for not attempting to harm you, since you are so blatantly in front of me in an enclosed elevator?
Well, there's the small deal of the camera watching us right now.
Rakcharr, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And if you were to attack me, that would basically bring Cloud State security down on you, and whatever tub of smugglers you've been riding in.
Right. There are levels I am willing to accept.
Mm-hmm. Let me just say I have a pretty good idea of what you and the people you work with have been doing, and I'm going to give you one chance to keep your skins out of this. Don't mess with Kaltho's team.
All right. Is there anything else that you'd like to note?
Nope. Just one. After he says that he'll turn the elevator back on.
So this Kaltho, is that a name that I should recognize? Again, completely. He's not even attempting to lie.
He's a Hutt who follows the same clan as the one you killed.
Oh, that was just a great misunderstanding.
Of course, just like I'm sure there would be a great misunderstanding if your team would be to win, or anything ill would happen to Kaltho's team. That would just be a horrible one, wouldn't it?
Oh, so the concern isn't just messing with Kaltho's team, it's winning the Grand Prix. See, that's information I needed.
The Rodian will give you that look of just seriously, dude.
Rakcharr will actually slide up the helmet to give him the look of, I'm a fucking Wookiee, dude.
The elevator will stop, not before your stop, not on your stop, but it'll stop, and the Rodian will pop out and says, just remember what I said.
May I get your name?
I don't see why not. His name is Gens Lorak, bounty hunter extraordinaire.
Thank you, Gens Lorak. It is a pleasure to meet you.
Off he goes. Possibly to never be seen again.
Alright. So then Rakcharr will immediately get on the comm, and this will actually be to, I have an amendment for that 3,000 credits bit where I met someone go for, and I don't feel too comfortable talking about that over the comm link. Given some time, perhaps tonight, perhaps when we get back to the ship, I'd like to say something. Let's just say that I have been discovered.
Well then, that could complicate things.
By the Imperials or the Hutts?
Things. Hmm.
Back to the Three Musketeers.
Hmm.
Or at least, Lissa, we know what Lissa's doing.
I do not need interruption.